Barry Gibb finally tells the truth about Paul McCartney when he is 78 years old. The real name of Barry Gibb is Barry Allen Crompton. Gibb on September 1, 1946, in Douglas, Isle of Man. Hugh and Barbara Gibb, his parents, saw how talented he was early on and encouraged him and his brothers Robin and Maurice to learn about music from a young age. This supportive setting set the stage for an amazing career that would last more than 60 years and include music styles such as pop, rock, dance, country, and R&B. The humble beginning of Barry's trip began when the Gibb family moved from the Isle of Man to Manchester, England, and then to Brisbane, Australia. It was there that Barry and his brothers formed the Bee Gees, a name that would become linked to hit songs, unique harmonies, and a big effect on culture. In the middle of the 1960s, Barry's songwriting and leadership helped the group go from being a bright Australian act to a worldwide star. By the late 1960s and early 1970s, the Bee Gees had already made their mark on pop history with soulful tunes like Massachusetts and To Love Somebody. These songs showed off Barry's skill for writing lyrics and making music. Barry Gibb's life and impact, on the other hand, were shaped by the 1970s. The Bee Gees changed their sound to fit the changing disco soundscape, with his artistic direction leading the group. Their songs on the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack, like Stayin' Alive, Night Fever, and How Deep Is Your Love, not only topped the charts around the world, but they also became cultural touchstones that defined a generation. Barry's falsetto vocals became instantly recognizable, a sound that shaped the course of popular music and affected many other artists. Barry became known as a great performer and prolific songwriter thanks to his work with the Bee Gees on Saturday Night Fever, which won them Grammy Awards, multi-platinum sales, and a permanent place in music history. Barry wasn't just good at writing songs for the Bee Gees, he also wrote songs for other acts. Among the artists whose hits he wrote or co-wrote were Barbra Streisand's Woman in Love, Diana Ross's Chain Reaction, Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton's Islands in the Stream, and Celine Dion's Immortality. His ability to write timeless melodies and words that people can relate to shows how well he understands music and how people feel. He is one of the most famous and popular songwriters of all time, having written or co-written more than 1,000 songs. But Barry Gibb's story isn't just one of going to the top of the charts. It's also one of being strong, dedicated, and loving your family forever. The Bee Gees had to deal with personal and business problems, such as changing musical tastes, negative press during the disco era, and the sad deaths of Barry's brothers, Andy in 1988, Maurice in 2003, and Robin in 2012. Barry was deeply saddened by each of their deaths, but he continued to respect their memory through his music, carrying on the Bee Gees' legacy with grace and humility. His solo work, like the 2016 record In the Now, shows how much he loves writing songs and how emotionally deep he is as an artist who has been through love, loss, and starting over. Barry Gibb has won many awards and honors over the years. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the Songwriters Hall of Fame, and in 2018, Queen Elizabeth II knighted him for his services to music and charity. Even though these are great honors, they don't even begin to show how much he has changed the music business and the lives of fans all over the world. As an honor, Barry Gibb's life can be seen as proof of how music can bring people together from different countries and generations. His songs have been played during many happy occasions, sad times, and romantic moments. Barry has given the world music that gets people moving, whether it's the catchy energy of You Should Be Dancing, the soulful closeness of Words, or the sad beauty of Too Much Heaven. He will be remembered not only for the songs he sold or the awards he won, but also for the way he made millions of people feel. Barry Gibb's personal life has been marked by both early relationships and a commitment-filled marriage that lasts for a long time. He got married for the first time when he was only 19 years old, which is still kind of young. On August 22, 1966, at the height of the Bee Gees' early fame in the UK, he married Maureen Bates, a young woman in his social group at the time. But this union didn't last long. Even though they lived together at first, they were only married for a short time. Gibb's growing music business may have put stress on the relationship because he had to tour, record, and deal with media attention all the time. The couple broke up after living together for a short time. In July 1970, less than 4 years after they got married, they got a divorce, which ended their marriage. In Gibb's early personal life, this quiet ending paved the way for a much stronger friendship that would soon come next. During this time, Barry Gibb's fame kept growing and his job often put him in touch with famous people. Gibb met Linda Gray, a woman who would change the course of his life, while taping an episode of Top of the Pops in London. Top of the Pops was one of Britain's most important pop music shows at the time. Gray, a beautiful and classy woman, was named Miss Edinburgh, which made her famous in British society. Their meeting happened by chance in a place filled with music, lights, and the energy of the late 1960s pop culture scene, making it feel almost like a scene from a movie. Their relationship grew quickly, and they chose to get married within a few months. Barry Gibb's 24th birthday was on September 1st, 1970, which was a special day for the couple because it was their wedding day. There would be no better marriage in the show business than this one, as proof of how much they respect each other, how much they share beliefs, and how close they are emotionally. Barry and Linda built a strong family over the years. They had 5 kids: Stephen, Ashley, Travis, Michael, and Alexandra. Stephen Thaddeus Crompton Gibb, their oldest son, was born in 1973. He would become a singer like his father. Their family grew even bigger when their children got married and had kids of their own. Gibb is proud to be a grandfather to 7 grandchildren, which is another thing he loves about his famous job. The Gibbs kept their British identity, but their lives and jobs became more rooted in the United States over time, especially in Miami, Florida, where Barry set up a home and recording base. Barry and Linda Gibb made a big step when they became legal citizens of the United States in 2009. They had lived and worked in America for decades. It's important to note that they decided to keep their UK citizenship, which shows that they will always be connected to their British heritage even though they have fully adopted their new count. Rory. This choice was based on their personal and professional ties to both countries, as well as their appreciation for the chances and experiences they had had in each. Barry Gibb gave an honest and very personal interview to The Mirror on July 11, 2014, in which he talked about the strange and unusual friendship he had made with Michael Jackson. Gibb remembered how Jackson would sometimes fly to Miami and stay at Gibb's family home when he was at the height of his fame but needed a break from the stress of public life. Jackson preferred to stay away from the attention of the public and found comfort in Barry's home, which was a far cry from the chaos of screaming fans and relentless cameras. Gibb gave a very clear picture of Jackson's strange sense of humor by talking about how the singer would hang out with him in the kitchen. While watching TV news about the crowd of fans outside of Jackson's hotel, he laughed to himself and imitated his famous hee-hee sound. The meetings were more than just social, they were also very creative. At one point, Jackson even lived upstairs in Gibb's house for a long time, right before his well-known child rape trial began. Even though Jackson's serious legal problems might have come up in conversation, Gibb said that they never talked about it. Instead, they wanted their time together to be free of drama and focused on making music, which was what they both loved most. They would sit around for hours, jotting down creative ideas and writing songs. Every once in a while, they would also have a drink or two. Gibb said with a smile that Michael liked wine, even though he seemed very clean to everyone else. And there were times when the king of pop would just lie down on the floor and fall asleep, feeling safe and at ease in his friend's house. When Gibb thought back on those times, he was truly sad that Jackson was no longer in his life. He said that he misses Jackson and treasures the memories of those simple, uninhibited times they spent together. Barry Gibb's life has been shaped by the places he has lived as well as these very personal ties. His main home has been in the United States since 1974, when the Bee Gees moved their operations to Miami to be closer to the booming American music scene. He does own a home in the United Kingdom. It was clear that Gibb loved the U.S. very much when he bought the famous Hendersonville, Tennessee, home of the late country music stars Johnny Cash and June Carter Cash in January 2006. For Gibb, this was more than just buying some land. It was a chance to honor and preserve the work of 2 artists he really liked. He wanted to bring the land back to its former glory and turn it into a place where people could write songs, a place where musicians could work together, think, and get ideas from the past that was built into the walls. The idea never came together the way it was supposed to, which is a shame. As the renovations were being done on April 10, 2007, a fire ripped through the building, destroying everything inside. Where a landmark in musical history had once stood, only ashes were left. Even though it was sad to lose the old house, a new one was finally built there as a tribute to it and a sign of strength. After a few more years of owning the house, Gibb finally sold it in 2014. This ended a part of his personal and creative journey that had been filled with both inspiration and sadness. Sir Barry Gibb, the last living member of the famous Bee Gees, is 78 years old and has hit a point in his life and career where he can think about things without even thinking about them. Years of creative successes, personal struggles, and the natural passing of time have given him a view that is both wise and honest.